The doctor's exact words, "You may never do martial arts again." Bruce Lee said nothing back. He just stared at the ceiling of a hospital room, unable to feel his legs. Los Angeles, August 1970. Bruce is at his home gym, working through a routine he does most mornings. One exercise, the good morning, a barbell across the shoulders, bending forward at the waist to strengthen the lower back. He's done it 100 times before. This time, he skips the warm-up, skips the careful form. He's rushing, distracted, thinking about the next thing on his schedule. The bar comes down. Something in his lower back gives way. Wrong, sharp, immediate. He drops the weight, can't straighten up. A friend has to help him to the car. At the hospital, the diagnosis lands hard. A damaged sacral nerve, the nerve that controls sensation and movement in the fourth sacral region of the spine. The doctors are blunt. Permanent damage is possible. Some tell him privately he may never walk normally again, let alone kick, spar, or teach. He is 29 years old. He has built his entire identity, his career, his sense of self around what his body can do. And now his body has, without warning, told him no. He goes home, not to a gym, to bed. For the next 6 months, Bruce Lee barely leaves his room. Standing for more than a few minutes causes pain he describes to Linda as unbearable. He watches from a mattress as his own school runs without him. Students train under his senior instructors. Life continues. His body does not. There's a version of this story where a man in this position gives up, quietly resents his fate, spends 6 months in bitterness waiting for a body that refuses to cooperate. That is not what happens in this room. Bruce asks Linda for a stack of blank paper, doesn't ask for get-well cards or distractions, asks for something to write on. Unable to train, he begins to write. Not journal entries, not complaints. He starts organizing years of scattered notes, index cards, margin scribbles into something coherent, the material that will eventually become his book, later published as Tao of Jeet Kune Do. Lying flat, unable to demonstrate a single technique on his own body, he writes about technique with more precision than he ever has standing up. He doesn't waste the 6 months protesting what he can't control. He redirects toward the only thing he still can, his mind, his ideas, his understanding of his own art, refined without the ability to physically perform any of it. Centuries before Bruce Lee was born, a philosopher on the other side of the world would put a name to exactly what he was doing in that room, though Bruce likely never read the term himself. Amor fati, love of fate, not merely accepting what happens to you, but treating it as necessary, even useful, material to work with, not an obstacle to resent. Bruce never used that Latin phrase. He didn't need to. He was living it, one page at a time, in a bed he couldn't yet leave. Slowly, carefully, he begins physical therapy. Progress is not dramatic. It's small. A few minutes standing, a short walk, controlled, gentle stretches under a doctor's supervision, nowhere near the explosive power he once had. Linda watches him work at rebuilding what many told him would never fully return. By early 1971, Bruce is training again, cautiously at first. The back never fully returns to what it was before the injury. For the rest of his life, he manages it carefully, but he is moving, teaching, performing again. Within 2 years, this same body appears on screen in Enter the Dragon. What separates this recovery from a simple comeback story is what happened during the 6 months he couldn't move at all. He didn't wait passively for his body to heal so life could resume. He used the forced stillness itself, treating an injury that could have ended his career as raw material for the most important writing of his life. Ask yourself what your equivalent of that bed is, the circumstance you didn't choose, can't undo, and don't control. Most people spend that time waiting for it to end. Bruce Lee spent his writing the book that would outlive him. He never called it amor fati. He just refused to let stillness mean nothing.